Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be ranking the best cards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM here on this tier list. I got 48 of the best cards in MyTEAM on this list. Unfortunately, that is the maximum amount that, for whatever reason, TierMaker would allow me to upload. Apparently, that was the maximum file size they would allow. So I might have to try to shrink it down in the future if I want to get more cards than this on there. But 48 cards. If I miss anybody, which I'm sure I missed a bunch of cards, that y'all would like to know my thoughts on, feel free to leave a comment. I'll try to get to them I'll try to get to all of them and let y'all know where I would place those cards among this list. But before we hop into it, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Help me push towards the 20,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. Tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So we're going to start off with Luka Doncic. I think elite defensive point guard. Offensively, very, very solid as well. Great size. Really good player build as well in terms of a physical, versatile player build. I think he doesn't have the best release in the world, but I still think he's a really good card. He's my favorite player in the world, but I don't think that matters much when it comes to 2K. Great card. I think A tier is fair. I don't think he's an S tier point guard anymore, but I still think he's really good. Same thing with a guy like Adam Morrison. I don't think he's a top 10 card in the game. I think he's a great card. I had him as a top 10 card in the game a few days ago, but with today's new drop, I do not believe he's a top 10 card in the game anymore. Can't put him S tier because I can only have 10 guys in S tier, but I do believe he's great. I think his shot creation is elite. I think he's a very good defender. I like that he can get every badge. I think he's an awesome card. If his upper was better, he'd probably still be a top 10 card in the game. Because his upper sucks, I don't think he is. Amin Thompson, he is the most debatable. Like, I feel like he's going to be right on the borderline for me between S and A. I'm not totally sure if I wind up putting him S. I'm going to leave him A for right now. We will see as the video progresses if I wind up dating another guy in S tier or not, because I think Amin Thompson would probably take that spot. I think he's probably the second best point guard in the game right now. Really like him defensively a ton. I love his athletic ability as well, and the size of 6'7". He's an elite slasher. I understand he's not the greatest shooter in the world, but he knocks down wide open shots. That's literally all I need him to do, and I think he's a really good card. Definitely A tier. Now, AK-47, great defender. Admittedly, compared to the best of the best cards in the game, which is what this list is, I don't think I would have him higher than C tier because he's not that great offensively. I mean, he moves okay-ish. His finishing's pretty good, but not amazing. His shooting is mediocre. I think there are like 7 or 8 better small forwards, in all honesty, at least 6 or so. I like the card. I think there are a few better options, so I think C is probably fair. Bam Adebayo, I love the defense at power forward. I love the versatility at power forward, and I love his release as well. That's a big deal and really one of the reasons that I like the card as much as I do. I wish I had a spot for a guy like Bam on my team. I just don't anymore, but I think he's a really good card, and I think he is definitely a B tier power forward. I'm a fan. Carmelo, I think he's C as well. I just don't think he gives you enough defensively, and also not having speed booster is a big deal for more of an offensive card. I love the movement. I love the release. I just don't think he does enough, unfortunately, without speed booster and with slightly mediocre defense to be higher than C on this list. Chet Holmgren, is he S tier at this point? The answer is that is debatable, and I think I'm going to go yes, but dang, it's close. This S tier is going to be tough to put together. I'm not going to lie. There's only a few guys that are guarantees. And Chet's on that borderline. I think he's probably good enough. I think Chet being free is amazing. I think he's one of the best free cards, one of the 2 or 3 best free cards in the entire game at very worst. Elite card, really versatile, great center option, great power forward option, probably better at power forward than center, honestly. Shoots the ball quite well, great slasher, can put the ball on the floor a little bit, defends well. Low strength is his biggest flaw. I think he's a really good card, though, and I think he's S tier. DeMar DeRozan sucks. I think he's D tier. I legitimately think compared to the best cards in the game, he kind of stinks. The only reason I really included him is because he is a new free big grind, but he is by far the worst of the recent free grindable content that 2K has dropped. Not a fan of DeMar DeRozan. He's not even free technically, but he's not a very good card. I would stay away from DeMar. Devin Booker, I'm putting a B because of his offense. His shooting is amazing. His fade is incredible. He is one of the best shot creating and offensive cards in the entire game still. Unfortunately, not an elite level slasher and not an elite level defender at all. The new Devin Booker, I'm sure, will be the best point guard in the game again when he gets a new card, or at least top 3. But right now, I don't think he's quite there. I think he's great, but I still put him B. Dante DiVincenzo, he's not S to me, but I think he's A. I would take him over Luka, honestly. Although he and Luka, I would say, are very close. Both of them, I would say, are A tier. Amin's a little bit above them. I'm not sure he's S tier, though. He's right on that borderline to me. I like Dante and Luka a lot as cards. I think that Dante gives you more offense. Luka gives you more size. Dante's badges are a little better overall, I'd say, at least. I like this Dante DiVincenzo card a lot. I think he's really good. I think he's A tier. I think Giannis is B tier, and I think I'm going to catch some flack for that in the comments. I've always been lower on Giannis cards than most people, especially as the year progresses, and it's because his release stinks. And to me, that bothers me. It always bothers me that Giannis's release is not good. The last couple of years, it has just not been a good release as we've progressed through the year. It used to be elite up until 2K22, but the last couple of years, Giannis's jump shot is just not that good, and I understand it's the way it looks, but it hurts the card. It just simply does. It prevents Giannis from being quite as elite as he would be. Not to say he's not a great card, because he certainly still is a great card, but he could be better, in my opinion. I don't love the release, and that puts him B tier for me. Hakeem is C at best. I honestly almost want to put him D, but I don't even know. Like, the thing is with this list, it's so deep that there aren't that many D tier cards. I don't think Hakeem is one of them, though. Despite his lack of playmaking, he is a great defender, and his release is okay, although he's not a great shooter ratings or badge-wise either. The ability to get every badge is great, but I'm not that high on him as a card. In all honesty, I am putting him D tier out. I'm talking myself into it. I just don't think he's that good anymore. I'm not that high on Hakeem anymore. As a card, I think D tier is fair. I got to start going faster, otherwise this video is literally going to be 30 minutes long. John Morant, C tier, great short point guard, best short point guard in the game probably, in terms of like super short, below 6'4 PGs. I still think the size can be a little bit of an issue, but I think he's a great card. I'm also putting Jimmy B, C. I just think the ability to get every badge is huge, but his release is a little baited. That's probably his biggest flaw, but that is a pretty big flaw at the shooting guard position. Even being a little bit baited is kind of an issue at this point. Joel Embiid, I'm going A, I'm not going S. I don't think he's S tier anymore. I think he's the third best center at best in the game, maybe the fourth best. Very good card, no doubt, but I'm still only going A tier for him. By the way, that's making me realize I don't think I put David Robinson on this list. He would also be A tier. I told you I was going to miss a bunch of guys. David Robinson is one of them. He would be an A tier center. Jonathan Isaac, he's literally borderline S to me as well. I'm going to have to go back and probably add some guys to S tier as this video progresses, because I don't know if Jonathan Isaac is an S tier card or not, but I think his defense and his size and his release are enough to make him S tier. His release is not insane, but it's very good in my opinion. And then defensively, he's a menace, and he's really great as a slasher as well. He's very big player build. I like the card a lot. I think he's S tier. I really do. Drew Holiday, elite defender. I don't know if he gives me... Nah, C. I'm putting him C. He just doesn't give you enough offensively anymore compared to the best of the best. Very good card. A lot of people are still using him, but for good reason. But I'm going C. I would put Dr. J in S. I think I would. I think I would put him S. I understand he's probably like the third or fourth. I mean, the crazy thing about Dr. J is I want to put him S, and yet he might arguably be the fifth best shooting guard in the game. So, like, to me, the shooting guard position is unbelievably stacked now at this point. But I actually think I have to put Dr. J A tier. Like, because there's a bunch of guys that are coming up that I'm going to put S tier at the shooting guard position. So I think I'd put him A. I think Cat is... Bro, this is so hard. There are so many good cards. Like, what is Cat? Is he A or S? I don't know. I think I'm putting him A too. I'm literally going to wind up moving a bunch of these guys up to S at some point maybe. But right now, I think Cat goes A. I like Chat a little more than Cat, I think, but it's close. Karl Malone, great defender, really good small forward. You could argue him A tier as well. I think I'm going high B. I like his release. I don't love his shot creation. I think he's a worse version of like a Thurl Bailey or a Jonathan Isaac, in my opinion. I think he's very good, but I prefer both of those guys over him. KD, I'm going B with him as well. I honestly just don't think his release is good enough, nor his movement. I think he's a very good card, but I still think he's B. I think that's totally fair. KG isn't good. I'd put him D tier. A disappointing ultimate reward. He simply was. He's just not very good. That's a pretty easy D tier. I think he and DeMar are the two worst cards in this list for sure right now. Klay Thompson, I like the card. I don't love the card. He's a good defender. I think he does a lot of things well at the shooting guard position. Has a nice release, pretty good fade. Not amazing fade, but not bad. He's also athletic, but he's not the best shot creator in the world. He's a good card, but there's a ton of good shooting guards. There's just a ton of them. So to me, I'm putting him C. Kobe is S. I don't have to think about that one. He's the best card in the game, in my opinion, still. Movement, release, animations, badges, all of it is incredible. I love the card. KP is S to me as well, 100%. He's the best center to me in the game. You could make an argument for a few other guys depending on what you're looking for out of your center, but to me, the range of KP as well as the versatility and the ability to get every badge is such a positive. It just makes him such a good card. Really, really high on KP personally as an S tier big in my team. Kwame Brown, I would still like argue A because of... I really like Kwame personally, but I'm kind of biased. He doesn't have clamps. That's a super important badge. But he is a pretty darn good playmaker for a power forward. His release is really good. And he's a great interior defender as well. I really like the card. I'm putting him A. I am. I'm taking liberty. I'm putting him A. I think it's fair. Kyle Korver goes C because he doesn't defend well enough, and he's not a great slasher, and he doesn't have great playmaking badges. He's just an unbelievable shooter. Probably the best shooter in the game. That's not enough to put you higher than C tier to me personally. Larry Bird. Also C. I don't think he's quite D tier, but he's certainly a disappointment as the specialization ultimate reward, kind of like Hakeem was last season. I'd say he's even more disappointing, though, because he's just not that great. He's good, but he's not insane. I honestly would put him C. Like, I think LeBron is definitely better. LeBron and KD both in B tier seems very fair to me. LeBron's new card, I'm sure, will be borderline S, if not S, although I would love to see his release sped up a little bit, although I really do like LeBron's release. I will say that. Even if they speed it up, put it on quick, I'd be hyped, because I like his release. I think his dunk animations are incredible. I think he's an incredible defender, master player build. He's a little outdated at this point compared to the top best of the best cards, but he's a dog, and his next card I'm sure will be incredible. Magic sucks. I don't care. He's small. He can't dribble, or he's not small. He's huge, but he can't dribble. I don't care. I refuse to mash. I refuse. It won't do it. The way that you have to play to have success with Magic is not a way that I want to play. I think he stinks unless you play one specific play style, which is very much a two-man screen mash. Use your point guard as a masher play style. You could also use him off the ball to a certain extent. Yes, he can just be a screener, and you run your offense through your shooting guard like Kobe, but I just don't like Magic personally. I'm not a fan of the card, and I don't like him. I'm not a fan. MJ. Am I crazy to put MJ B tier despite his release being baited? I'm still doing it because I believe MJ with his shot creation, his SIGs, his defense, and his slashing, despite his release being baited, is still a B tier shooting guard. Or B tier card. I think he's a really solid card. Despite that, I think it's totally fair. Mo Bamba. He's a demon, but like this is a really good list, and he's like statistically not that complete. He just has a great release, standing dunks really well, 7'10" wingspan, and is a great defender. So there's a lot to like. Enough to put him C tier. I just can't put him higher than that. I'm putting Oscar in S. I think he's the best point guard in the game. I think that's totally fair. He's a great card. He's super complete. He slashes at a very high level. Well, not a very high level, but a high level. He shoots the ball at a very high level. He play makes well, not insanely, but very good. And then defensively, he's also great. He's basically Drew Holiday with like super souped offense, or just a better all-around Dante DiVincenzo. I think S tier is very fair. I would put Paulo in B tier. I think he and Karl Malone are basically the same card. In all honesty, they give you very similar things. Paulo gives you a little more playmaking. Karl gives you a little more defense, but either way, I think they're pretty close to the same card. I think both of them are higher in B tier, to be fair. PG, S tier as well. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Yesterday's drop, as y'all are watching this video, is so good. It's such a good drop. I mean, people are not super excited about it because the cards aren't significantly better, but like they are still some of the best cards in the game. And I think Paul George is another one of those guys. I think he is an S tier guy, legitimately. Great card. So good at the shooting guard position across the board. So complete stat and badge wise. I understand his animations aren't next level insane, but I think they're pretty good. By the way, I have finally come around on Penny Hardaway to a certain extent. I'm putting him B tier. I like him a lot more now than I did 3 weeks ago. I don't think he's incredible still, but I'm actually coming around a lot on the card. I think he's pretty darn good. B tier. Very complete stat and badge wise, and the size is nice. He moves better than I realized. He's good. Like, he's a pretty good card. I think B is fair. I understand this is really high for an Amethyst, but I'm putting him in A tier. I don't care. Peyton Watson, I think, is an A tier card. I understand that's probably about the highest anybody's ever put an Amethyst this late in the year. I think it's a totally fair placement. He is unbelievably good as a budget card. Elite release, so complete stat and badge wise. Go look at that card on 2KDB. He is crazy good. Roy Hibbert, bad release, puts him in C tier to me. He's a little slow as well. I don't hate the card. I liked him more a couple weeks ago, though, when we didn't have quite as many good bigs. Now we've gotten a couple of newer ones. For me, I think C is totally fair. Pippen is definitely S. I think he's a top 5 card in the game. Still so complete, gets every badge, elite release. Great defender, moves pretty well. Really good card. Serge Ibaka, amazing center. Honestly, I really am super duper high on Serge. I think he's A. I think he's 100% A, actually. I would take him over every center in the game except for like 3 or 4, honestly. I really like him. I think you could definitely argue him over Embiid personally because I like his release a lot more than Embiid's. He's a great dunker, and he's a really good defender. Super versatile defender. Great card. I'm a big fan. SGA. I will die on this hill one last time. This is probably the last time that I'm going to put SGA on one of these tier lists. I think I have to put him C. His stats have fallen off so much. His animations are still great, and they keep him very usable, in addition to the ability to get every single badge. So a badged up SGA can still be really good. But I'm going to be honest, his stats are just so mid compared to literally every other card on this list pretty much, and it holds him back at this point. I noticed it. He's C. Steph is too small. I don't think he slashes well enough. I think he's D tier. I think that's totally fair. Thurl Bailey, I am actually putting in S still. I think he's a better Jonathan Isaac, slightly better. I think I like his release a little better than Jonathan Isaac's, and I think he's a little bit more versatile as a slasher than Jonathan Isaac, more complete badge-wise there. Defensively, they're pretty similar cards. I think they're both great. Like I said, Isaac is borderline S. I still think Thurl is S, and I really do like Thurl as a card. T-Mac, B tier. Very good shooting guard, but nothing incredibly insanely special. I think it's very fair to put him on the same level as MJ. I think they're honestly pretty similar level cards. They do different things, but that's pretty fair. Tyrese Halliburton sucks. The only reason I put him on there is because he's a free recent pink diamond from the MyTEAM mobile thing, which is so cool. The MyTEAM mobile concept, the fact that there's now an app for MyTEAM on your phone and it actually works and you can play online and everything. I think it's so cool. At the same time, this Halliburton card sucks. His release is terrible. Kills the card, puts him in D tier. Tyson Chandler is S tier. Again, he's a demon. I got to stop saying that. But he's such a good card. He is a absolute dog. 7-footer, such a versatile defender, 91 speed, and can get every single badge, can shoot the 3-ball, doesn't have an awful release. He's an amazing, amazing free card. He and Thurl Bailey are literally the 2 best motor reward cards we've gotten in like this year and last year pretty much, and they're both come this season. 2 more amazing free cards, definitely both S tier. Wimby is still S. He's an amazing, amazing center, such an incredible card. 7'4". I don't think he's quite as good as KP, and honestly I think Tyson's already also better than him, but I think he's the 3rd best center in the game, and that still is a great card. Even with him not being maybe the best center, I still think he deserves a spot in the very top. And then Vince Carter does get the final S tier spot as well. Yes, I understand that is a lot of wings on this list, and a lot of, well, actually I wouldn't say it's that bad of a list. There's only 1 point guard, but I got 10 guys in S tier. I would actually say this turned out as a pretty solid list all the way around. So yeah, this is going to do it for my tier list. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. If y'all did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.